like you're talking about like reimagining Christmas with your family.
Yeah.
What type of like what was that process like? Was that just like, oh, I'm gonna dream and jot it down on a notepad? I'm just like, actually, I've seen the movies and this is what the movies look like, and so I want that. Like, what did that look like?
Um, well, it looks a lot of like the adults in the room are saying we can't do Christmas like this again, and the kids in the room
Yeah.
saying, "Oh, we want to do everything,"
Hmm.
and finally saying, "Hey, what's important to us?" And then without having a family meeting and voting on anything, trying to listen to what's important to the kids too, and trying to see how much can we fit
Yeah.
and what are we going to do. And it goes back to not only planning schedule, but it's also, hey, what about our finances? What do we have the ability to spend that's not going to make us live with regret in January?
Hmm.
It's just getting really intentional with that whole season and trying to be as transparent as possible with that. And so we first had to make the decision that we wanted Christmas to be something different, and then we started to say, how could we do that in a way that we could replicate, that it just wasn't up for grabs every year. And so we have certain traditions that we do that help keep us grounded. That, hey, Christmas is here,
Hmm.
and no, it's not going to kill us, but there's some special things that recognize the uniqueness of individuals, and what they like and what they don't like, and including a little bit of surprise and things and fun.
Hmm.
And then we have rhythms to our month and our days that help us just to enter the season without having to be at the mercy of everybody that wants us to say yes.
Hmm. I'm super curious. So I think one of the most like underrated challenging aspects of like why it's so busy is
Mm-hmm.
because there's like I feel like a constant pressure, right? And that's whether that's the expectations of other people, whether that's the pressure of like realizing you need to say no,
Mm-hmm.
financial pressure of like, well, your kid really, really wants this thing, but you know, and for some people, like pressure is probably a lot easier to deal with, and they're just like,
Mm-hmm.
well, it's fine, you're getting this, you know. And for some people, there's like a lot of pressure, like they want their kid to maybe experience what they didn't have or did have.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know when I bring up like the idea of like, okay, how do you handle the pressure? How
Yeah.
do you like what do you think of? Is there like any tips that you'd give people, or is that something that you've thought through?
Oh yeah. And it's not the fun answer that everybody wants, and it's not the one where they're going to go, that's what I've been looking for forever. It's it's very mundane, and that is, I mean, especially on the gift side of things.
Yeah.
We've come to a couple of different philosophies. First of all, we put a dollar amount on it and
Mm,
say, and we tell them, hey, this is how much we can spend on you this year.
mm,
And sometimes it's more because it was a good year, and sometimes it's less, and we explain that to
mm,
them. And then we let them have some say in, hey, here's how I would organize that budget money. And so this year, my son wants a PS5. Okay, and I look on every spot, and it's saying like $439 and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, that is nowhere near what you are going to get as
would you
far
like to
as
trade your next 5 Christmases?
well, so then we offer them the option, say, hey, we're happy just to give you what we were going to spend on gifts. And if you want to supplement that and buy the PS5, we're happy for that to happen. And
Mm,
so to be able to say, hey, how do we tell you that we have some limitations, but before you to get what you are hoping for, and
mm,
how do we do that creatively? It also teaches them maybe how to organize their own money a little bit so that they're not just going, oh, my kid
mm,
wants that and I want them to smile. And so I'll spend anything. The second thing, philosophically, not only have we done a budget, but we at Christmas, at least, value experiences over stuff.
mm,
And so one of the things we buy for the family every couple of years is a pass to like Discovery World, a family
mm.
pass.
Yeah.
And the reason we do that is because it has reciprocal with museums all over the country. So we can go down to Chicago and go to the Museum of Science and Industry and not have to pay anything, and the
Mm,
Field Museum. And so we try to do stuff that says, hey, we spent $120 for a family pass, but now when we go visit relatives in different areas, or if we want to go down to Chicago for a day, now we have options that provide us experiences. And, basketball games are experiences, all these different things that you can say, let's go do something together